Maintains e-levy at 1.75%. The deadlock amongst the 137 NDC MPs and 138 Majority Caucus members might not be resolved for a smooth passage of the estimate, bills and appropriations of a 2022 budget as both sides of the House hold on to their entrenched positions. The government showdown is imminent as the finance minister races against time to beat the December 31 expiration of the 2021 budget. Earlier in the day, commuters in different parts of Accra were stranded after some commercial transport operators parked their vehicles in protest against constant fuel price hikes. The intervention by the police did little to calm frustrated passengers.
No car is working, none of the buses, nothing. I feel very bad.
I'm going to 37 Military Hospital.
So how long have you been at the bus stop?
For an hour now.
There's another Kasua station behind where we normally pick a straight car to. A lot of people are there, but there's no bus.
The 4 juveniles charged with the abetment of murder in the Konongo Odumase Senior High School stabbing case have been discharged by the Konongo District Court. The prime suspect has, however, been remanded following a prima facie case against him.
From the advice of the AG, the court has discharged A2 to A5, that is the 4 accomplices.
But we can use them as prosecution witnesses.
Relocating them back to Konongo Odumase Senior High School will be a recipe for chaos because the case is still fresh in the minds of the students.
All right, so we are going to our big story that we're looking at for you tonight, having to do with the fact that commuters in most parts of the country, specifically here in Accra, were stranded Monday as some commercial transport operators parked their vehicles in protest over fuel price hikes. So here's a wrap of what has gone on so far.
From Ablekuma, Malam Junction and Odoko, passengers waited in vain for commercial vehicles whose drivers had refused to work. It was same at La Paz, Atomic Junction and Medina as more passengers expressed frustration over the situation.
We are writing exams today and we can't get any car to go to school, so I have to go and see.
Realize that no car is working, none of the buses, nothing. I feel very bad because I do understand what they are doing, the youth are doing, the drivers are doing. But in all, what do you have to say? You have nothing to do because we've already created our own thing, but still, things are not going on well.
I go to my office. So to get a car to Kasua, surely it's going to be difficult. Since I've been here, I've not had any Kasua. There's another Kasua station behind where we normally pick a straight car to. A lot of people are there, but there's no bus. I was even thinking of maybe pick a car and get to Shiashi and see maybe from Shiashi if I could get moto, and I will continue to do all of it.
I'm going to 37 Military Hospital.
So how long have you been at the bus stop?
For an hour now, and we are not getting car. The driver said they won't go because of the increments of the fuel. If you don't get car, we don't have any other option than to go back home.
Some drivers were picked up by the police for blocking the roads. The Gas Central Municipal Chief Executive, Bashiru Mohammed, justified the police action.
Was a woman, I believe she was taking her newly born baby to the hospital. He opened the door and was going to attack the newly born baby. The police rushed in and he injured one of the policemen. We can't sit down and allow just some few people to hijack the security of the area.
Lorry terminals in the Boko municipality and the Boko West district in the Upper East region were also deserted as commuters were stranded.
We are going to Boko to do our work. There is no car for us to go. So what do you want us to do now? What is the use of the voting that we are voting? We vote for you to change Ghana, then everyone can enjoy. But now that you are bringing everything high, what do you want us to do now? No work for us to do.
They should try and reduce the fuel for us. We want nothing from them. They should just reduce the fuel for us and work will continue. That's what we beg from government. We want nothing from you.
We are all Ghanaians. But we can see that tax, insurance, our service, everything. So what are we going to do? You get the money cannot do anything for you. You used to buy a fuel, it can't help.
The GPRTU in an earlier statement had asked its members to suspend the strike. In the other regions, the situation was different as their counterparts defied the directive pending a meeting between the presidency and the driver unions.
So what we do know for a fact is that that meeting is still ongoing, and we'll be telling you what exactly the drivers' unions are asking government to reconsider. However, commuters at the Circle Odona station remain stranded even as of this evening, as only a few commercial drivers have heeded to the GPRTU's directive to suspend the strike. My colleague Judith Awotri-Tando reported earlier that many of them were still in very long winding queues.
It's evening rush hour. Commuters often board commercial buses at the Circle stations.
Commuters have been waiting in line for hours now with an iota of hope that drivers will change their minds, while the situation seems dire for those living as far as Kasoa, as they have no other means of transport.
We're standing here for about 2 hours or so. The cars are not coming, so we don't know what to do.
And have the drivers told you anything?
No, nothing at all. Nothing.
They've told you they are not going to move their cars or anything?
No, they didn't say anything, but we are just here, like we are waiting for them to come, but there's nothing here.
Yes, please. And it's very frustrating because getting to the office is very tight for you. You are always tired to get to the office. You have to struggle with people before you get into a Trotsky and all this stuff. Yeah, so it's very embarrassing and very I don't know how to say it, but we're all fighting for the best, but we think right now it's like we don't have any hope again.
You know, it's a bit frustrating, and then we are tired. We want to go and rest for tomorrow, but because there's no car, we have to wait.
Despite the obvious expressions of frustration on the faces of commuters, drivers say they want government to address their grievances.
If they use the money gained from our toll booths to support our industry, drivers wouldn't go on strike.
Although a few drivers have started picking passengers, it is uncertain when the industrial action will come to an end. Judith Awotri-Tando, TV3 News.
All right, so what we do know is that the key things that the drivers' unions are asking government to reconsider or probably scrap totally are 5 in all, and that's what I'm going to take you through briefly. It starts with the fact that the price stabilization and recovery levy, according to the drivers' union, should be totally taking off the fuel build-up, the fuel price build-up. Also, the special petroleum tax should be taking off. They are asking government to remove the primary distribution margin and then also the energy debt recovery levy, and finally the bust margin. And if you look at the entire price build-up, these are some of the components of what you pay for when you go to the fuel pump to buy a liter of fuel. And the drivers who are still in a meeting, which started around 5 p.m. earlier today, are asking government to reconsider, probably scrap, and if they are unable to do that, just reduce or review these figures so fuel prices could be reduced for them, especially so they can resume. What information we also do have firmly is that the GPRTU and the other drivers' unions have asked drivers to operate tomorrow. So we are not expecting to see the stranded nature of what happened today happening tomorrow. So when you go out, you could get your transport, your public transport, to your place of destination. However, the meeting, which is currently ongoing between the Ministry of Transport and then also the presidency, that's government for that matter, is still ongoing. And our sources have told us that the GPRTU, hopefully by midnight tonight or early tomorrow, will be releasing a statement which should be from what has happened or transpired at the meeting. So do stay with our various social media handles. You'll get the updates. Also by 6 a.m. here on TV3 and on our sister stations, you'll get the update on that. Let's move on to education now. The Education Ministry and the Ghana Education Service have scheduled Friday the 17th of December for the maiden national standardized test for Class 4 pupils nationwide. According to the Sector Minister, Dr. Yao Osei-Edu-Twum, the one-day exam is designed to generate requisite data for any needful intervention.
The first time we get a national data on individual students is when they take the BEC. That is 11 years after they begin their education journey. At that point, it's too late to do intervention. Whatever they did or did not do is done. They have to move on to senior high school. So something needed to be done about the situation. And if you look at the education strategic plan, and then the National Pre-Tertiary Learning Assessment Framework, as well as the global mandates including SDG 4.11 and UNESCO Education 2030, there has been a call to action that we streamline our assessment process and also ensure that we have critical data that will help us do intervention. So the National Standardized Test is scheduled as follows. This year, we're only doing primary 4. But in the coming academic years, you're going to have primary 2, primary 4, primary 6 also done. And then we extend it to junior high school and high school eventually. If anybody tells you that there are no teaching and learning materials in the classroom, then he's not telling you the truth or doesn't really know what is going on. There were learner packages that were put together at the time of the implementation of the curriculum, and therefore teachers have something to use in teaching and learning. But in spite of that, if you were to even assume that they didn't have the full complement of textbooks, this is the reason why we even need to do this assessment, so that we can identify the deficiency and solve the problem.
That's the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei Edu-Twum. We've been joined on Zoom by the spokesperson for the Education Ministry, Akwesi Kwarteng. Mr. Kwarteng, good evening. Thank you for your time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. A very good evening to you. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. To start with, what format is the exam going to take? And do we know the number of primary 4 pupils that are going to take it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you look at the background, for instance, the test is going to be administered to a number of 470,768 primary 4 public school pupils. And of course, I mean, as the date has been communicated by the Honorable Minister for Education, the Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Edu-Twum, is on the 17th of December 2021, and we are using about 2,850 examination centers. That, I mean, is inclusive. If you look at the schools, for instance, we are looking at 15,391 schools with an average about 200 people per center writing the exams. And so, I mean, that is the data there. But I mean, just going into a bit of the history of the National Standardized Test, of which, I mean, there has been a lot of inquiry about. I mean, if you look at the education strategic plan of the Education Ministry, which looks at reforming our education, transforming our education so that we'll be able to generate graduates, or let me put it, how do you call it, a manpower that meets the demands of the 21st century education, that is producing a learning nation. Certainly we'll have to transform, and that will mean that we have to provide a lot of reforms at the Education Ministry, and of course, which includes reforms that is benchmarked on quality. And so you are looking at teacher professionalization, you are looking at the National Standardized Test, you are looking at all the initiatives that at the end of the day will deepen the quality of education. So it's against the backdrop that we want to introduce the National Standardized Test, so that at the end of the day we'll be able to deepen the quality of education that we have at the basic level.
So primarily, you're going to be testing these primary 4 pupils to ascertain whether or not there need to be a review of the kind of education they get at the primary level. Is that fair analysis or understanding of what you're saying?
That is not far from correct. But then, at the end of the day, if you look at the whole intention about the National Standardized Test, the whole idea is to generate a data that will inform policy decisions. And of course, I mean, as you generate the data, you'll be able to identify the learning gaps that needs to be addressed. Right. I mean, you and I know that the only time that we write a test of a national nature is when students are preparing or they sit for the BEC exams. And that is roughly about 11 years. if you look at students when they start school from the KG up to the JHS level. And so usually most of the interventions that ordinarily should have gone earlier, it becomes a bit of interventions that you are unable to use, because by the time you generate the data from the BEC results, certainly the students have left the school. And so it is the more reason why the Honorable Minister of Education this time around wants to be proactive and believes that it is prudent that at the basic level, you test the student in class 4, you test the students in class 2. So for instance, let's look at the one that will be coming off on 17, for instance. Students will be tested in class 4 in numeracy and literacy. So that at the end of the day, by the time the students get to class 5, any intervention, being it resource allocation, being it any policy directive, any other form of intervention that you can give to help such students who may not necessarily have performed in the exams, at least that intervention can go. So for us in the ministry, is a proactive measure of increasing and deepening the quality of education that we give to our kids. And so you will be having this class 2, class 4, class 6, of course, along.
And it's going to be yearly, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be yearly. So by this time around, we are starting with students in class 4. I mean, from next year, we'll be looking at class 2 and class 6. And as they progress they will also be assessed, so that if there is any challenge, quickly, the Ministry of Education or the policymakers quickly move and go and address that situation. I'm
grateful. Do parents have to make any payments?
No. I mean, there is no monetary.
So on the 17th of December, class 4 pupils are supposed to go back to, of course, the various examination centers and then just undertake the exam, and that will be it.
Apparently, what it means is that the new date is affecting the vacation days for all students. And so the Ministry of Education, of course, together with the agency responsible for the pre-tertiary institutions, that is GES, thought it wise, of course, I mean, after extensive collaboration and consultations with all the stakeholders, also thought it wise that it's good that, I mean, we extend the vacation time for all busy schools to the 17th of December. But then that will be compensated for in the next academic year, where they will also have 1 week a period to rest. So it is not as though only the class 4 people will be waiting behind, but everybody in the basic school will have to wait till 17th before they vacate.
Thank you for the clarity you have brought to this. Kwesi Kwarteng, spokesperson for the Education Ministry. Certainly, if you go to 3news.com, you get an update of this particular story. And the news is that on the 17th of December, all class 4 pupils will be going to write the maiden edition of the standardization exam. And the clarity is that it is to gather enough data to help the ministry, better take decisions having to do with Ghana's education. Let's shift our attention to health-related issues now. Landbell Laboratory and Diagnostic Center has opened its Ghana branch in Accra. It is the third in Africa after Egypt and Nigeria.
Approved by HEFRA and the Ghana Health Service and managed by the Arab International Laboratory, offers services in COVID-19 testing, use of enhanced molecular detection system, and other health services.
The only market that exists in the testing market is travelers. People within Ghana do not test, okay? And it's bad. I honestly think that areas like hospitality, banks, they should routinely test their staff. Because we can walk around and think that we are ostriches with our head in the sand and nothing is going on. Oh, COVID is not in Ghana. I'm sorry, we are only kidding ourselves.
Chief Operations Officer Vida Bana is optimistic of living up to the expectations of clients.
As biomedical research is racing to end the pandemic, the virus is rapidly evolving to our space scientific solutions such as vaccination. The recent discovery of the new variant, that is the Omicron, some few days ago in Ghana, suggests we have to take the basic personal hygiene protocols serious to guarantee our survival in this perilous time. The grand opening of Landbell Laboratory and Diagnostic Center, utilizing robust and high-throughput molecular detection system, is to complement efforts in improving the surveillance of COVID-19 disease in the country.
former director of the Noguchi Memorial Institute, Professor Abraham Kwabena Annan, urged management to be mindful of a universal health coverage. Management of the center is working with other hospitals to ensure prompt referrals to their facility.
This is still News at 10 on TV3. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll take you to the Finance Ministry and give you an update of exactly what the Finance Minister has been saying regarding the e-levy and the 2022 budget.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Akrobetu, I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop!
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Thinking about constructing offices, a house, shop or multi-purpose building, build faster and cheaper with prefabricated building from Y&W Industry Limited. Take a look at these samples. 2-bedroom apartment with living area, shared toilets, bath and kitchen. Office space has working room, meeting area and washroom. Our prefab buildings can also be used for schools, factories, high-rise buildings or any purpose desired. The structure is made of hot-dip galvanized pipes with cement fiberboard walls, heat and sound insulated resin roofing sheets, special security doors, UPVC window, all from Y&W Industry. Major components are produced in the factory and assembled on site. Lifespan is 50 years and so say bye to chasing masons and carpenters. Locate us on Accra-Kaswa Highway opposite ECG Transformer before the toll booth and in Marble House Yard, South Industrial Area adjacent Zenith Bank, or call 054-698-3633 or visit us at www.ywindustry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at YWIndustryGH.
What do you get when you mix extracts of African herbs and fruits with alcohol? You get Origin Bitters, 100% natural African herbs and fruits. Origin Bitters, original taste, original bitters. Also available in ready to drink. A blend of herbs, fruits and alcohol with no artificial sweeteners.
Place a bet, search on the web or get the app. OneXBet Bookmaker Company.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gambling can be addictive.
Munafikin TV. Na tun fa di maka. Bari batun TV ga. TV kana son TV mai kyau. Sai dai Franco TV. Gaskiya. Na samu mai kyau ko. Abba. Wanda ke bada garanti. Abba. Ita kin fada mu bai tsoron sanyi. Wala. Muje. Nanin gida. Ga TV. Wannan 55. 55. Allah sanin. Kaga sanu kali, kaga 55 nga. 302257553 and I said 0546133188
It has provided amazing networking and funding opportunities for many Ghanaian SMEs over the years.
So you came all the way from Kintampo to this place. Thank you.
Yet the biggest one is coming. TV3 in partnership with the Association of Ghana Industries present the SME Fair and Funding Summit 2021. Date 16 December to 19 December 2021. 4 days of sales, profits, and a wonderful experience. Venue, Junction Mall, Nungwa, side attraction, networking opportunities with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, free social media marketing training, seminar on accessing funding support for your business, opportunity to buy locally made goods and services at massive discounts and giveaways, fun activities, face painting, kids special Saturday, playground, fashion night, and more. For further details, please call 0249 447 118 or 0241 272 606 or 0243 584976. Now, media partners: 3FM 92.7, Onia TV, Onia 95.1 FM, Connect FM 97.1 in Takrade, Akoma FM 87.9 in Kumasi, and 3news.com. TV3 SME Fair and Funding Summit. Expand your network, grow your business.
Brunye kesi wedie ebi madao share Onye TV ne Association of Ghana Industries na kabum the Brunye kesi ebro mechre eja kakraka data ubenya niema bia uhia brunye imu wase enuane entade empaboa bagi chese brunye niema bia busua ne behia eja no so by trekeke onua brunye kesi sha se wukwada 15 December akosi kwesiada 19 December wo Kwame Nkrumah Water Garden Circle Eben Dubai Overpass Hwa Anopa 8 AM Kusi anadu 8 PM De biada Sawiye jadini Na saoba ton adie brunye mwenye sikapia Bra onua brunye jakesi yase Fresesia 0558 689 701 Ana 0241 819 541 Na sa wonso pebebi fako Atuto brunye niema papa fofofua Fawani chile onua brunye jakesi yase Yebesa jiwini wabusianu weni ankasao Your face painting, fashion night, and a Saturday night bonfire. Onuya brunye jakesi, more than Black Friday.
Sponsors: Katsuaba Wine.
You're welcome back. Now, over 700,000 public sector workers, including doctors, nurses, and teachers, will not receive their salaries beginning January 2022 if the appropriation bill is not passed before Parliament rises on December 7. That's according to the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, earlier today when he addressed the media and the entire nation, talking about the additions and reviews that have been made to the budget. Go to 3news.com, you get an update of this particular story and subsequently the entire detail of the additions they've made. That's it for the bulletin. Thank you very much for spending your 30 minutes with us. I am Martin Isiedudate. Do have a good evening, and as always, stay positive. Bye for now.
This program is rated PG. It contains